Yo, what's going on, guys? Watomarmelon back here again. As always, if you guys do enjoy, make sure to subscribe, like, all that sort of stuff. And if you guys are buying something on eBay, make sure to click the affiliate link in the description below before you make a purchase. It doesn't cost anything extra, and it does help me out quite a bit. So, starting off today, we're going to be looking at Starlight Rares. And if you guys notice, I've sorted this by best selling. So, not surprisingly, the best selling Starlight Rares are all Starlight Rares out of the most recent Starlight Rare set, Photon Hypernova. But once you get past that, you see that Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, it has a lowest listing price above its market price. So people are really looking out and looking at Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. I'm assuming a lot of sort of the interest in this card has to do with the recent ban list and the fact that decks using Dragoon are probably a bit more playable right now. However, I've always thought that this is a really interesting card as a collectible Starlight Rare. I mean, it's a Red Eyes card, it's a Dark Magician card, and it's a really good looking Starlight Rare as well. So, this is one that I have been interested in for some time, and seeing it go up, the listing number isn't too high. I wonder where this sort of card would end up. $300 is about what it costs right now. Next up, we have Phantom Knights of Torn Scales, not too expensive. Some of the Labyrinth stuff, I think this is all just playable. And then you have Illusion of Chaos. I don't know if this is a playable card, however, it seems people are really picking it up. As the lowest listing price is above the market price. This one, again, I have the Japanese version of this card, and it looks really, really nice. So it wouldn't be surprising to me if collectors are trying to pick it up, but I know that it does have some niche play. So, I don't want to speak as if this thing is exclusively a collectible card. Then we've just got some more, I think, playable cards. Blackwing Dragon. I don't know why people are picking that up all of a sudden. Trap Tricks, more playable stuff. And then Leviathan Dragon. It has a pretty high sales rate, although you can see that its price is still $50. This card is worth nothing. It's just gone down and down. I could actually click on this. Yeah, you can look at the plot over the past 3 months. It's just gone down over the past 1 year. It takes a dip, then comes back up a little bit, dip, comes back up a little bit, and then dip. I mean, it seems as if the supply is just way too high for the relative amount of demand, and there always seem to be times where there are people who really want this card, and are willing to speculate on it, but I think there are just too many of them relative to the demand for any of these sort of speculatory bubbles to stop from popping. It goes up and then it immediately comes down after a couple of months. So that's one that I like, but clearly it's not thought of too well. This is sorting by high to low. And then you just have some more tier elements, just playable stuff throughout. I'm wondering if Yada Garasu. Yeah, it seems like a lot of the collectible cards from Brothers of Legend, or Battles of Legend, Crystal Revenge, haven't really stuck the landing. You start to see Exodia pieces here on the second page. Shooting Majestic Star Dragon, that's one that I've thought has been an incredible collectible card, and I guess it's my viewpoint is being vindicated a little bit. There are only 8 listings of that left. I've always said, of all the modern Starlight Rares, there are a couple new cards that have come out that I think are really, really nice, and this is one of them. Other than that, Starlight Rares, not a whole lot going on. Although it's interesting to look at those because of the recent release and announcement of the quarter century secret rare, which is essentially the same thing as the Starlight. Next up, looking at the best-selling Ghost Rares, you can see that you have a lot of the Ghosts from the Past 2 stuff. Red Dragon Archfiend is sort of leading the charge. Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. I don't think this is a very playable card. It looks really, really nice, and it's a sub $20 card, so it's not super expensive either. And it seems as though people are picking it up. A lot of these cards are very, very affordable, and if you're looking for a nice collection piece, I see why someone would go after Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. So you have the remainder of the Ghost from the Past 2 stuff. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is one that I think we looked at the last time. That's one that has sort of started to have a bit of a rebound. You have Blue Eyes, and then you have some other stuff. I don't know why Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend is coming off of shelves, but it is. You have some legendary duels from the deep. I believe Stellar Knight Deltaros is playable in some respect, and then you have Cyber Dragon really below the rest of the other Ghost Rares from Ghost in the Past 2. This is one that started going up, but you just look at the number of listings on Cyber Dragon relative to all of the other Ghost Rares from Ghost in the Past 2, and it has way more. I don't know what the rationale behind that is. I don't know if there just isn't the demand for Cyber Dragon, but clearly there isn't the demand at that price. I'm a bit surprised though. And then you have Divine Dragonite Felgrand, more just sort of random stuff, some collectible cards. I don't think these are playable in any capacity, but some very beautiful Ghost Rares nonetheless. It's interesting to see where the Ghost Rares will end up following the release of Ghost from the Past 2, which to a certain extent I think it kind of damaged the rarity's standing among collectors because of how overprinted it was and how easy it was to pull the Ghost Rare. Next up, we have Ultimate Rares. You can see that there's a bunch of playable stuff sort of at the top, not surprisingly. Some of the classic Dark Magician Blue Eyes Ultimate Rares, those are always going to sell well. More playable stuff, you got Book of Moon, has listing price $10 above its market price, so that's one that's starting to go. I think almost all the Ultimate Rares that are being picked up are primarily for play. You see Giga Brilliant. This is one of the guaranteed Ultimate Rares out of the 2013 Zexaltin. This thing, there's a million of these things, and it's dirt cheap. Its market price is less than $1, and there's no first edition version, so that's there's only the limited edition. So really cheap. Here's I think the cheapest OTS tournament, cheapest OTS Ultimate Rare, Dark Requiem, Xyz Dragon. It doesn't look good in NA print. I can assure you that much. But it seems like it's getting picked up. $13 market price. I don't know. I guess some people are going after that. A classic Rise of Destiny card in Dark Blade the Dragon Knight. Really cool looking one. Some more stuff. Not a whole lot of collectible stuff. I guess we're starting to see Aqua Neos, although maybe there's some weird playable reason for that. Armed Dragon level 10. Very cheap OTS. Out of the same OTS pack as Dark Requiem. So I wonder if OTS 15... really just dropped the ball. This Cyber Dragon is one that I'm actually looking at. I didn't think that it would get this low, but it's a $65 card. I am starting to think of picking this one up. So, I don't know if it will go much lower than this, but this is kind of well past the point where I was saying I would pick one up. So I think I am going to pick one up in the near future. Ultimate Rares as a whole, it seems like they have started to drop a bit if they're not part of some playable formula. So, it's interesting to look at where these sort of things end up. And there are a lot of cool ones, like, for example, this Ritual Beast. I posted a video on my main channel talking about how I'm looking for sort of the mid-era Ultimate Rares to collect. And so there's a lot of cool ones that I've started to look at. Here's another one out of Clash of Rebellions. This is a surprise. Solemn Judgment has fallen quite a bit. My goodness. I remember I bought these probably around here-ish. So, I have a playset of these that have lost quite a bit of value, but these are kind of ones that I just wanted in my binder. Really cool looking card, but not doing too well. Next up, we'll move on to the most recent release. I mean, I think this comes out this Friday. I'm recording this on Wednesday, my time. So we've got Baron de Fleur, cool looking collector rare, playable. It's going to be expensive. Probably not that expensive. Mech Knight Crusadia Avramax, another playable card. Most of these are playable, although Blackluster Soldier, Legendary Swordsman. I have the Starlight Japanese version. Looks quite nice. It's a cool looking card. I don't think it has the best artwork, and I have a feeling that unless it's very playable for some reason, it won't be able to stick anywhere close to this price that we have right here. Wake Up Your Elemental Hero. No idea why that's expensive. Solemn Judgment. Oh, maybe that's why the Ultimate Rare is going down. I guess I probably answered my own question. This is something that I'm probably going to make a video on my main channel about. It just... I don't know what Konami is doing. it feels like they don't understand what they're doing either, because they're printing ultimate rares and OTS packs, and then they're trying to double down on these things. Now I get they don't make money directly off of these sort of OTS pack releases, but it's just bizarre to me. It just, it completely removes any sort of collectability from the collector rare, because why would you go for the collector rare when there's an ultimate rare? And it hurts the ultimate rare too. There are cards that legitimately deserve printings and high rarities that have not gotten them, that collectors are going to want. For example, Dark Magician Girl the Dragon Knight. This isn't something that I'm going to be hunting down, but I know if they print that in collector rare, people are going to go crazy for it. And it's bizarre because the Japanese side of the card game has both its original print in collector rare, the original art, and its alternative art in collector rare. So it's just surprising to me that they choose these sort of cards like collector rare Solemn Judgment, which is a cool card, but it has high rarity printings already. I don't know what they're going for with the collector rare. That's all I can really say. And it's sad because there are some good picks too, like Torrential Tribute was a great pick. But I don't know why they don't keep up, those sort of great picks. There are cards that deserve collector rare treatments that haven't gotten them. I'm not mad about the Gate Guardian. This is the sort of card that I think would be a good candidate for collectors. Sort of printing those old secret rares as collector rares seems like a pretty decent idea to me, especially if they haven't received, an Ultimate Rare or Starlight Rare, something like that recently. It just, they keep printing the same stuff over and over again, and it doesn't make sense. Other than that, I don't really see a whole lot. A lot of these collector rares are just playable, and so I don't really have much interest in them. We'll see where everything ends up. These prices are crazy inflated because it's pre-sales, so it's kind of hard to estimate where things will be. Amazing Defenders, it's been out for a while now. It's doing a lot better than it was looking in the beginning, but it seems like it was under-ordered. Or maybe not under-ordered, it seems like the supply is not that high. Under-ordered would imply that there is enough demand to eat up that supply, but we're seeing that that's not the case. And people are afraid to open this stuff up because there's just no value to be had. Even though, there's none of this stuff on the market, it still won't command a price that, allows you to crack open the sealed product without taking a loss. So, there's plenty available well under market or MSRP. And even the usual like $65 booster box. Super, super cheap. One thing to note is Infernal Noble Knight Renaud, originally debuted as I think an ultra rare in Toon Chaos. This collector rare has been completely bought out. There's one left, so not a whole lot there. You also have other things like Card Trooper, it's kind of holding the line. The Purely stuff has really come off the market, so we'll see where all that sort of stuff ends up. But overall, it just seems like there isn't a whole lot of it, and it's this competition between short supply and not much demand, which is sort of, there's demand for a couple of cards, but I'm sure it's not the craziest demand, so it's difficult to find out where these things should last. But never in a million years would I think that, these Purely cards would be as expensive as they are. I was expecting Purely, assuming it wasn't playable, which I don't think it's super playable. It might be, a rogue strategy, but I was thinking this would be like a $20 collector rare, but it's 90, so, I'm a fool, I guess. Now, onto Magnificent Mavens. A bit more of these secret Pharaoh rares are starting to appear on the market. I think these things are ugly. That's my generic take. I mean, they're not the worst thing in the world, but to me it just seems bizarre that people are willing to pay the prices that they're paying for these secret Pharaoh rares. And a lot of them just don't match the theme of the Millennium Rare, so I'm a bit surprised as to why, who is buying Tomb Kingdom Ultra Pharaohs Rare? And I get there's a bit of a premium because these ultra rares are only available in Europe, so you need to import them over in order to get them. But to me, I really have a hard time seeing why these cards are as expensive as they are. But, maybe we'll figure this out at some other time, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Next up, this is stuff Well, actually, I'm looking at the best-selling collector rares. You can see that there's a lot of playable stuff at the top. Then you have Scapegoat. I mean, look at how this is another example of just Konami. What are you doing? Why are you printing a collector rare when there's a cheap ultimate rare already there? I guess because we're talking about Scapegoat, I have it up. Here's the ultimate rare's 1 year trajectory. It came up and started peaking because of the ban list, but quickly cooled off, and then the reprint was announced, and now this thing's a $55 card, so very, very accessible. And the collector rare is a $17 card, so I don't know what Konami is gaining from sort of reprinting these collector rares. Additionally, they printed it as an ultra rare in Tactical Masters 2, which blows my mind because there's this secret rare, and even at its sort of peak price, it was a $14 card. So what do you get out of printing an ultra rare of a lower rarity in one of these new sets? No one's playing Scapegoat. It's filler. I think the ultra rare is like a 20-cent card. And it sucks because you only get 3 ultra rares per box and you're not guaranteed a collector rare. I think they really need to restructure these side sets because there's just no value to be had, and they're making terrible decisions as to what they reprint, to be frank. And then you just, this is exactly what I'm saying, you can get these Scapegoat ultra rares for 10 cents. It's just, there's so many versions of this card, and some of them are holofoil. Like, there's super rare. Original print was super rare, and there are a ton of those left. Super rare are Dark Saviors. It's not like this thing needed a holo printing, and it already had the high rarity printing in, oh no, excuse me. Its ultra rare printing was in Magnificent Mavens. What I just said was not correct. I went off the rails a little bit there. Okay, so this ultra rare was in Magnificent Mavens, but even then, what do you gain from printing a collector rare when there's already an ultimate and there's a secret? And then they try to double down on it with an ultra rare reprint in a sort of side set. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So let me know what you guys think. Obviously, I said some stuff before correcting it that I take back, but it's still surprising that they do these quick succession reprints when they're really not needed at all. No one's playing this card, and it wasn't like there was a shortage of decent rarity printings of this card either. But it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy Watomarmelon, and peace out.